All right, so my obtuseness, having a conversation with only Niklaus and myself, and Kenny, the guy that was helpful, that drove me with the round key, so I could drop off the round key to Niklaus. Right, I mentioned this before. I also want to mention, I have so many issues, like, I don't even know where to begin. Okay, so, I did on the I mean, I don't watch much TV. I don't speak to all area broken head cases being Linda and Lou. The, I'm, how do you even mention this? I'm like, okay, so my mortal self, I mean, how do you, I mean, I have more than a third person trajectory of like, how do you communicate? Like, how much do you have to? I mean, you shouldn't have to do anything. I mean, usually we are obtuse for a reason, but it's like now that they've got me trapped here, it's like every excuse in the fucking book. All right, so my mortal self being Nicole, born extra spatial special with Niklaus, since our Zafruta colorless seeds were ripe for just the right time of whatever. And I was sent to J channel, which is what I call it, which is like, I mean, they call it vagina. I hate that word. I hate saying that word. It's like, but I am at all area, like up to my neck in dipshit. And they've left me here with my face into the shit. So, my Lewis and Linda, the electron transport team, they call mother and father, husband and wife of broken, they say 5 words on a repeating cycle, like artificially non-intelligent programming in head cases from immortals elsewhere before I could fix my parents or whatever. Right, all area compromised outside in immortal territory, that much I know. But all right, so I don't say, right, Niklaus's name very often because there's a meter and a count on that for what day I reboot in aging skin, in order to try to get to him in this broken simulation that all area called us in for. I mean, we called ahead on reservations and said, guys, did you realize, like, the American football field that you're delivering Hitler's new Hitler's mortal wife, right, from extraterrestrial whatever? Did you realize that, like, the government stupid laws that you're teaching the fucking carpet munchers now that you let into college? Oh, right, you call those your daughters. Yeah, you if you wear a uniform in a military, you have one daughter. It's me. I own the military. It's my word. It's my protection for planetary global stuff. The rest of you are employees. You accept some form of pay. You accept some form of protection unlimitedly by my word. And then you sometimes have families and expect that they're protected in civilian whatever. Great. So what do I do when the civilian landscape of Lead Freedom Ring, right, changes so drastically that it's actually harming my God seeds, which is the only reason a human is allowed to breathe, for sure. And the ultimate, like, if we're going to lose everybody on the planet within the next 5 minutes, I'm the only woman that's ever going to survive. Ever. Only one. And then past me, it's going to be all men that are, like, more than arm's length, because my father would be arm's length, but all men that are as close genetically to me as possible as electron transporter, and like my biggest chance of having many, many seeds and many, many electric transports on many, many cycles elsewhere. That's it. That's how badly you've broken this planet. So, being that the military is in the entire world only has one leader, it's me. I'd like to save you in whatever you woke up in if it's not genetically related to me. However, waking up in this U.S., there is a whole lot of problems. I personally don't have a problem with African American, Hispanic. I've met a few Muslim, but they're not all the same color Muslim. So I'm going to throw a religion in there just because they have a couple of shades. My Hispanics also had a couple of shades. I mean, they went from really dark to like really light. They came from a whole bunch of different countries. Again, it's really hard since you've broken yourselves so badly in America with throwing everything. You threw every country into the United States. You threw every color into the United States. You threw every religion into the United States. And then my military, they're changing laws. They're combining businesses. They're forgetting what's important and the top national security priority, which is planetary priority, which is me and my parents. Yeah, I hate to tell you, there are immortal beings that watch over this planet. It's broken so badly, I'm the only one that survives, along with Niklaus, based on the nature of our obtuse relationship in whatever. That's the way that it always works when you break yourselves this badly. For moon bouncing, no less. So here's how we go. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have words to tell you. I can't trust a single U.S. employee. I don't know any. I can't trust anything that says that it went to a dry climate vacation like Kyle whatever in Sniper American Hero. I can't tell you, like I could tell you, like he thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he was following the right plan. And he's a hometown hero as far as I'm concerned, what USA looks like. Got it? Visually. Great. White guy. Whatever. That's what I am at the moment. So, well, I'm a white girl, but whatever. So, then I have all area security outside of dirty English. Like the speech pattern in America is so dirty because, again, I have Hispanics here. I have Korean and Chinese. I have Arabic here. You have turned the New York into such a disgusting, dirty cesspool of God doesn't even know how to address her own people and ask for help from her mortal stay in New York. That my government in the United States of America knew about. My Russian government came to visit me and tell me that they were trying to work with the United States to help, that they got my husband's message. It's like, what do I tell you when... your human consciousness is and your ability to, survive extinction is on the line. And I've got other area projects that I know about. Like, I send kids to kindergarten, and all of a sudden they disappear for, 20,000 years, and I have other search parties looking for them. Meanwhile, I've got nasty
modern day mongoloids trying to watch patterns to change with buttons because all of a sudden Jill Margolis, who's a New York Jew, decides she wants to befriend Shauna, who's a half white, half Asian mongoloid whatever in dirty New York, and now the Jew and the half bestiality girl is now ganging up and getting really loud with girl groups, pussy carpet muncher groups. Let's grab dick suckers into the group. Let's grab everything immoral into our group. And let's gang up on the one way. Grab some blacks. I'm sure she hates those too. I mean, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. How do I protect anything that wears a uniform, that knows what's going on and doesn't know what, how do I protect myself when all my military is like, stay, blah, blah, that's your country, girl. Like, yeah, can we call ourselves? I know you guys don't like the Soviet Union or Russians, but I don't like America anymore. This New York is the United Nations of, I don't know what, of everything that's wrong in you're all going extinct. And I'm gonna be the one to push the fucking last nuclear button to get rid of you all because you're that fucking useless. So now where do we start and rebuild the world from there? I'm just curious because that was the message before I got here. Not to hurt me, not to follow me, not to interfere whatsoever with anything white that's my protection, that is not associated with a bestiality family or suffers from the facial deformity of mongoloid syndrome. Right, see, here's the thing. Nobody wants to come for civilians and kill you all, but then you throw your stupid fucking weight as a free country into God's real dilemma. I got big criminal. I don't really give a shit about your Shauna unless Shauna's gonna grow up and become a real fucking advocate for the mongoloid facial deformity, rights movement of killing and hurting everything caramel, black, and white that uses a uniform and is trying to do good in the world. So now how, and then, then you want to throw fucking women into my private security group. I have to rebuild my military because you're all fucking head cases and, there's some serious shit on the line. I don't have time to fight about, money and sports leagues and the men in the Listen to me. If you had listened to God, you would have taken every single black male out of a penitentiary that was living in the ghetto. You would have given them nice, comfy, luxurious, whatever, citadel accommodations and uniforms for protecting us, and you would have taken anything that looked mongoloid and deformed in any color, and you would have put that was on the United States, any state in the 50, and put them in the penitentiary until we could finally come to an agreement that the blacks are not bad. It was all the mongoloids' deformity fault, and they need to all be executed since they made it to between the Atlantic and the Pacific, that landmass that they're not allowed on. Right, and I know that they didn't get here by a wooden boat with a paddle. So I'm not buying that crock of shit either. They got some venereal disease bestiality pervert who likes Asian women and his dick got hard and you're fucking gross and you are a real serious threat to national security. How do I, you have gotten so bad. Where do you put those guys? You realize bestiality, pervert, that likes Asian women, but you're a white guy, black guy, or Hispanic guy that doesn't have a facial deformity. You are actually a pureblood, right? Okay, so I got purebloods now. White, caramel, black, and ashy. Good? Ashy, I'm giving you a whatever at the moment. You might be a mixed house somewhere between white and melanin rich and an albino, so I'm giving you an ashy classification, so whatever. And anything that doesn't fit in the other three, we'll just protect in that house for the moment, for extra security from
some of the can't get their heads on straight or change. All right, so I have 4 purebloods. If you're like, here's my thing. Ready for this? Here's a real life story. Brendan Burns, love him. Like, he's my, okay, and then I have to give you an example. So, only like real TV, like if I was going to clone a personality, it would be Toby, I think, from Roots, like back in the day, right? Yeah, like that's the one character. I mean, I don't really remember the whole story, but I just need the reference. So that would be like my Brendan Burns, my real estate. I hired him. I called him my business partner. I was his team leader, whatever. But again, it's like that, I'm that woman thing. So, but then again, I'm God, but then I don't like to tell people that. So it gets a little funny and weird, but I always introduce him like when I was teaching I wrote this the other day, when I was teaching Alexander, which is also a God, to meet Brendan, because I invited Brendan to my house purposely to meet my children. I introduced Alexander, my God, from my body, and is confirmed extraterrestrial and extraspatial God by his mother and immaculate conception. That's who Alexander is. He's an immaculate conception, like the Christ form. But so Alexander, I introduced to my in America, it's customary to call them African American, but he's not from Africa, he's American. So then that gets confusing in your dirty English that we all suffer from 1978 till 2020, trying to have a conversation in like all area of idiocy. So Brendan, I would introduce to Alexander as my business partner. Partner. I was his team leader. Yeah. Great coach, like whatever, and I brought him in to Remax Alliance away from Century 21 Princeton Properties because Rebecca Luke and Kelly J. Jackson had a better compensation plan than Christopher Armstrong, which is the only reason why we left. But the thing is that Brendan, he's a male. My son Alexander's a male. I don't want to make myself look higher in front of my son because I'm a woman. That's my first dilemma, pretending to be normal human in New York. Right. Alex doesn't really know I'm a goddess and that he's an immaculate conception. He does, but he doesn't because, like, we just know that we're different. We just don't know how to, like, communicate it. And I didn't put it into words for him, but, like, I have when we're elsewhere, that I have image that we have. So that gets confusing for people working files, but whatever. So, but if you look in actuality, when Brendan came over to meet in Nicole's just a real estate agent, like typical New Yorker girl. Right, yeah, go with that image for a minute. Right, so Alexander, this is Brendan. Remember, I'm Benjamin, mom's business partner, right, from real estate. Good, okay. And then that's it. Like, Brendan's just a really cool guy. Like, there's no... Like, you don't have to feel like he's going to attack you. In fact, I'm always like, I'm like a cat on like, with rocking chairs going off, which I try to tread. I mean, I know he's not coming at me, but I know that the moment that him and I are sharing was viewed earlier before it happened and after, I'm sure. And nobody believes that like, I'm not all area racist. See, the thing is, I'm all area racist. I protect you and your rights equally. And I will tell you which one of you is fucking up. I mean, I didn't think that was such a bad place to be. It's not like I single out black. No. Well, I mean, I do, because I really like Brendan, and he was your one example, plus Kunta Kinte on, like, Roots. I'm going to assume all of you want to be treated as if you're that respectful. So I assume when I meet you that that's who I can expect to have a conversation with. So I try to be careful with my words, but just know that if you're watching this, I'm trying to bring my A game, and I'm expecting Brendan Burns and Kunta Kinte to be your representatives for how
melanin-rich color skin wants to be treated in this shitbag modern world that we're trying to fix that's really fucking broken and scary on my level of understanding. So, with that being said, that's one point I really want to be poignant about because I know it's a sore spot for a lot of people. The only people I really have a problem with that have been causing complete havoc from when I was immortal before I was born, I called myself a lordess. I mean, again, even my words have to change based on what you got going on out here. Right, with Brendan, what was my point with Brendan, right? Oh, right, Brendan married a Hispanic girl. They have the most beautiful daughter. Okay. Neither of them are mongoloid. I don't, what else do you want me to say? I don't care if you mix. The only reason why I even had to bring that up is because I don't sleep with melanin rich or caramel. It's not my cup of tea. I mean, why is this so, why is that, why do I even have to point that out to somebody? I mean, you know how disgusting that? I'm a star goddess. I'm a priestess. I had the Immaculate Conception in a modern day, and it was confirmed before I had him. So, why must I point out that fact to you, and why don't you believe it when somebody tells you? Why do you have to keep, but I need to know, what kind of, who? What? Okay, she doesn't sleep with black men, she doesn't sleep with caramel men, not because she's racist and she wants you all to die. No! She likes to keep things simple. She likes white guys. Good? Great. And in fact, she was born for just one. That's the only one she ever wanted to sleep with. But there's a whole lot of shitty ass, gay, black, white, and then friends that have venereal disease on their face. We call facial deformities that fell in love with purebloods falling in love with facial deformities and then having kids that from bestiality sharing, then they have venereal disease kid faces. I mean, how else do you want me to explain it to you? Your family, Brendan's family, pure Hispanic, pure melanin rich. Both specimens of parent, absolutely gorgeous. They have an absolutely gorgeous child. That's a family. Shauna Hildebrand's dad is Irish, German-looking, white guy with a weird nose. And then her mother has a facial deformity. So now, white guy and facial deformity has venereal disease. They're disgusting. He falls in love. We call that bestiality, where I come from. So we have, when they have sex, then it's bestiality, and it produces a venereal disease kid. Great? Good. Because their family is not the same as the Hispanic and black family that has perfect pure blood, and now has a new combination. Big difference! I don't know how you guys get confused with, what's acceptable and what's not. If you have a facial deformity that looks like mongoloid, it's a medical condition. They are the same exact vulnerability for all the rest of us to stay safe based on their personality changes and their high vulnerability to paranoia and their insistence that they're the best people ever. And then they get a little more control, and then they have to start controlling things and taking things, and then they take things away from other kids, and then they lie to them, and then they have to become the experts. No, I'm the expert on the broken people. I know, I can tell you. I mean, it's oh my fucking God. And then I got purebloods confused, and they're well, hey, okay. I want to believe you that she's this good. My intuition tells me if she's a goddess, she's that good. But real life told me it's not that good. Right, stay with me. That's why she's a goddess. Tinkerbell, Peter Pan. Yeah, she does those things that we all, if anybody else in real world told us about, we would call them crazy, and then they would call us crazy if we ever repeated the story. That's the land of magical people that she comes from. Yes. Okay, so you want to call her a witch? You want to call her a switch witch? Because she switches between immortal and mortal self, because she's got a lot of extraterrestrial work going on, and while she's here as human, right, try and save the rest of you. We used to call them superheroes. I mean, what words make you feel comfortable? I mean, for me, I'm like, I don't like to tout, or like, I don't like to speak to people about it. I mean, honestly, if you know something, you want to have a conversation, teach me, great. But I don't know what you guys use and speak as. Unless you're in front of me having a conversation, like, I'm talking to a light year camera by myself in a car, guessing at what phase in your reality you are because my biological clock is ticking down extinction. I had my immaculate son. Him and I will walk through with Niklaus into our world where we belong, a billion years away from here, in seconds. I'm trying to help, like, the Brendan Burns and Celeste and their new baby. Like, you know, the black, Hispanic, and they had a kid. Great. I'm trying to help them. I'll give you a white example of whose kid would I want to save that I met recently. I don't really like, oh God, I don't like making connections with things that I just, because then it's like, whose favorites, if it's my kid, their kid. Yeah, see, that's why I don't make those connections, but then you guys insist on examples. So, like, right, I don't have a white example for you. I got my kids, and that's really it. And I have to, right, be careful with that one, because they're not even wearing the right skins. I got 2 out of 4 that are wearing the right skins. And then that gets confusing on how do I know, and what does that mean? Yeah, don't worry about that. That's extraterrestrial equipment. That's my area of specialty. So, all right, so that's that. And it's hot as all hell in here, but I didn't want to open the window for this somewhat confidential whatever. Because I got listeners, like, here's the other thing. I mean, like, this is how all areas stupid you guys are with, like, your fucking new mental institutions called hospitals. I mean, like, some of you hang on, you're like, wait, but, like, I need to know like, you know, what if, like, I mean, my dad had, like, a quadruple bypass to save his life. Yeah, I get that, okay. Nobody's taking that away from you. What I'm taking away from you are the special ed kids that you gave medical degrees to that you now have treating the patients in the hospital. Yeah, right. They are a big problem. I know you don't think so, but here's also what happens. You keep giving money to, like, if we go back to, like, 1800s, there was more, and I'm not going slavery, because that word is like a trigger word for you guys. Let's use serfdom at the moment, because in Ireland, they were all white, and they were under the same, it was a white guy who owned some land, they worked in clans, but then the family worked the land. So in America, down south of Mason-Dixon line, or so I've heard, they had plantations, and they had some stolen children from other lands, which they didn't directly steal them. They were just told that they were migrant workers and that it was a good idea. At that time, I did not hear anybody in the black community complaining. But again, none of you that are here today were back then, so shh. Why are we blaming the people of 1978 for things that happen in relationships back in 1800s? Why do you idiots do that when I'm 41 and I don't have a single child to this world with Niklaus other than our Immaculate Conception? So, and I don't need to have, like, he was your mistake, so he passes through to where I need to be anyway. I only have so many eggs. And you've wasted my entire fucking biological clock on making sure, with money, that the blacks use their money to pay off people to hurt me. The Asians have done the same. They've actually fueled a lot of the black groups to purposely defame and hurt me. And that's been confirmed. And then I have the Asians also colluding with the Hispanics, saying all sorts of things against me, which is all bullshit. But, I mean, again, if you don't know the person, you don't know the whole situation. And then you have
new area of all asshole specialists where the Asians are stealing all of my star files. I hate to tell you, Lavender Palace is always lavender eyes. And I have slits for eyes. I mean, I just don't get you. Like, how do you think you're going to really steal an idea? I mean, my Vishnu people, I had one come to me personally in New York and have dinner with me to tell me that he confirmed, and our Vance confirmed for me too in 3rd grade. The Vishnu people understand that how do you say it? Like, I allowed you to take my stories and paint for your people a goddess in your image, in their image, so they had something to look up to and an affinity with and be proud of. Great. That's that area. However, the reason why some of the goddess, like, I don't know which one, and again, there's been a lot I purposely stayed away from based on my day-to-day label trying to get out of New York. The blue people, it's because I actually have blue eyes, but they drew the shape of the people like your people, so now we have a combination. We have a landing point and an agreement spot not to argue over it, and we don't have to disappoint the other people that think that that's their gods. Great. I don't have a problem with they call you Indian, but then I have a problem with another language, and what an Indian, an American Indian, then they say Eskimo, and those are all words that are not, they are sacred, forbidden words. They're not for providence of Utsa, which is what I am in India. So, the words that I say spell out on what I call kitty literature, but then if somebody in Cyrillic is trying to understand, and then I have other people taking my words and reprogramming, so then my Cyrillics are getting confused, and now I have quantum length problems, and it's cascading effects of problems, and they're studying effects of space and time. I call them moon bounce people. That's a fucking problem. They're causing great cascading effects that's affecting modern day humans, day-to-day tasks and whatnot, and ability to be healthy because of all this money, time, research, and none of the Mongoloids are dying. They're actually getting more money, more dangerous, more involved with everybody else, and pretending like they're the good guy and like I'm the bad guy. No, I'm the immortal goddess. I'm the one who's come for billions of years, documented. I'm the one who runs the gigantic projection system that keeps the heat on and the lights on the face of the earth. You know, the sun? Oh, that's the word we use for the sun disk. Yeah, okay. Egypt knows. We're sun, and sun. Right, there's the 3 of us. It's me and Nick Klaus as the 2 sun signs in Zodiac, and then our immaculate sun with the 1 disk, 1 sun, comes, and then he's Alexander the Great. Wonderful. Nothing changed. Still same gods, still same people, still an immortal business, and we warn humans. What we don't like is now I've got corporate money people, my Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, my military. They used to be privately funded by privateer, whatever. It was a contribution by all the countries. Now I've got royalties involved in that. Now I've got alternate governments mixed in with royal partnerships, and now I've got corporations and boards of mixed, like UN kind